And one thing I would really like to talk about, because this would be an interactive session, just like let's talk about what does burnout means. What do you understand by burnout?
When we have used all our resources,
okay,
and we do not have enough to function more.
Certainly, that's a good one. Lovely. Let's see what have I written. Anyone who wishes to add anything? Let's see what have I written. Okay.
When we've lost the motivation, because as she said, after we've exhausted all our resources.
Yes, that does have an impact. Certainly. Yes,
physically and emotionally, I mean, you're completely exhausted.
Certainly, that covers up everything. Like all three of you have covered up everything. Let's have a read what I've just written. So it's a psychological term where you have a long-term exhaustion and diminished interest of no matter what. A general wearing out from the pressures of work. When we talk about work, it is not just related to work. We are studying this topic in organizational IO psychology. But if we see the current scenario, approximately from last 2-3 years, we can clearly observe and see this, that it is not just students. It is not just, employee professionals or corporate professionals. Any person, whether it be the homemaker, whether it be students, whether it be, young children, whether it be teenagers, everyone has gone through this stage. My angel has also gone through the burnout. Okay. Trust me on this. It's not just us. Our pets are also in the burnout in the similar space. So if you hear her voice in next 5-7 minutes, understand that she's actually facing burnout. Because I know that she will. Not kidding. But you can see, okay? So burnout is a state of emotional, mental, and physical exhaustion caused by excessive prolonged stress. What is a stress? Usually when you're doing a lot of work and it is actually acting as, distress, that is making you feel sad, making you feel upset, making you feel angry, making you feel any negative emotion, envy, jealousy, anything. That will have an impact, okay, here. It also occurs when you actually feel that you're so overwhelmed and you feel like, okay, there's so much workload, there's too much in my hand, and I'm not able to meet, the actions, I'm not able to meet my demands as, for example, if I feel, when I did flirted with burnout at once upon a time, okay, me and my dramatic scenes. Okay, so I did flirt with burnout at once upon a time, and during that time, I used to feel like, oh, I'm not a good daughter. I'm not able to be a good daughter to my parents. I'm not able to be a good sister to my, brother. I'm not able to be a good partner because I'm not able to, connect to him. I'm not able to actually give him that support he requires and needs. Plus, I'm not able to give that love and support which I need, and I'm not able to voice out what I need as well. I used to feel so lost, and I used to feel that, no one connects to me. You lose the interest with perspective to not only work, you lose the interest to anything and everything around you. Okay, anything and everything around you. That's how the burnout comes in. It reduces your productivity. It actually finishes your energy. You're almost anytime when you talk about, this is a word I used to use at that point of time. When anyone would ask me, how are you? I would say, Zinda. Anyone who comes to me would ask you, hi, Navati, how are you? I'm like, Zinda. That means, I finished my energy. I'm just going with day to day. That made me, at one point, and that's how people would respond. They would have different spaces and situations around it. But yeah, completely around it, okay? Completely in this scenario. So you feel helpless, hopeless, completely pessimistic. No one is right and nothing is going right as well. And would be having, moments of irritation and anger, like every second. Something goes wrong and you really want to, you change into a fire-spitting dragon. Yeah. Eventually you would feel that you have nothing more to give. You just do not want to talk. You just do not want to say anything, express anything. You just want to be silent, like dead silent. That's how burnout makes you feel, okay? Let's talk about, okay, so this is how it looks like. Most of us have days, okay, there would be some days when we feel bored, overloaded, and appreciated. Let alone that days come once in a month or twice in a month. It's completely fine to feel that way. But if you feel like most of the time, if you're having like 5, when we talk about 7 days in a week, and you're feeling like this for at least 4 to 5 days, you may be flirting with burnout. And I like this word, Okay, I actually say flirting with burnout rather than, facing burnout, because it gives a little less impact. Because the way you actually express things, that has an impact too with your inner self. So, when you're having any concerns with yourself, rather than, that's how I put it, flirting with burnout. I'm not flirting with burnout anymore, healed long back. So we talked about being burnout stems from job, but there are many cases of burnout. And as I shared before, it is not just about people who are corporate professions. Anyone who feels overworked or undervalued is at a risk for burnout. So from the hardworking worker who hasn't had a vacation or a raise on a long period of time, or stay-at-home mom struggling with heavy responsibility of taking care of kids, housework, an aging father or aging, parents, anyone can face burnout here. But burnout is not just because of stressful workload. There are too much responsibilities. There are other factors also which we'll be talking about, which also connects with lifestyle and certain personality traits. Okay, so we'll be covering 3 causes while we'll be having interaction. One is work-related causes, second is lifestyle traits, and third is certain personality traits. So we'll check on all these things. Let's go ahead. So this is where we'll do party. Okay. So anyone who gives me the maximum number of words with perspective to work-related lifestyle and personality traits will get a chocolate from my side whenever we meet at Counsel India's office. मैं सबको Counsel India office बुला रही हूँ. This is one thing happened in the last session. Okay, last session Counsel India was on a counseling practice session. Okay, it is a CMC class, different one from IO. It's a counseling master class for counselors and everything, for learned therapies. Okay, so I told them that whoever gives me the right answer, I'll get the chocolate for you. And one of the people who has been doing who has done already 5 sessions with me till now, okay, they have been seeing me from December actually. So they're like, ये chocolate कभी नहीं मिलने वाली, क्योंकि हम काउंसिल इंडिया ऑफिस आने नहीं वाले, और जब हम आएंगे तो मैम वहां होंगी नहीं. मैंने कहा ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, जब आप लोग आना तो बोलना कि अनुकृति मैम को बुलाओ, मैम हमेशा फ्री होती है, मैं आऊंगी, मैं चॉकलेट लेके आऊंगी अपने साथ. तो मैं अपनी बात कह रही हूँ, ठीक है, इफ यू गेट द मैक्सिमम आंसर यू कम टू काउंसिल इंडिया ऑफिस, आई विल कम. डू नॉट थिंक अबाउट इट. माय बर्नआउट पर्सन, आई टोल्ड यू ना कि आएगी है, देखो. She is one demanding person. Okay, just give me 1 minute, I'll be back. She wants to go out now. एक इंसान जो वैसे ही तैयार होके बैठा है, उसके बाद और परेशान करना है उसे. Just give me 1 minute, okay, I'll be back. Sorry. So what we'll do here is, we'll first talk about work-related causes. Once we're done with discussion, I'll show you that, screen. Then we'll go again back to lifestyle causes, and then we'll do personality. That's how we'll go ahead. And anyone who guesses the most, answers the most, will get a chocolate from my side. Again, because you can hear the ringing bells, please just keep a focus on my voice, okay? Let's take it ahead. First is work-related causes of burnout. What are the work-related causes of burnout? What could be work-related causes of burnout?
Too much work.
Yes, Deepti.
Not managing time effectively, like not being efficient enough.
Conflicting, timelines, deadlines, like.
And that will happen again. Yes, good one, Jyoti. We've got 2 from Deepti, 1 from Jyoti. Yes.
Maybe, a task, or maybe a new position when you have new challenges or new work which is assigned to you.
That when if you're trained for that, so that can bring into question burnout. Yes.
Could be also your relationship with your manager.
Yeah.
If there is too much of politics in the environment, all that can cause a lot of emotional stress and burnout.
Certainly. Good one. Anyone else who wishes to add anything? Perfect. Deepti and Jyoti are a 3:2 ratio. They both are getting, Deepti is at first position, Jyoti is at second position, okay? People, you still have 2 options left. Lifestyle and burnout. Personality, let's see what I've written work related. Feeling like you have little or no control over your work when you do not have the freedom or autonomy that will have an influence. Lack of recognition on rewards when you're not provided any feedback or recognition is not happening, you're not appreciated. That have a very connect when you can face burnout because you're not sure if I'm doing right or wrong. Also, when you're like doing so much and you're still not getting that appreciation, you sometimes feel it because appreciation does have that sweet feeling, right? That gives us much more energy when we appreciate it. It makes us happy. It makes me happy for sure. Okay. Then comes unclear or overly demanding job expectation, as Jyoti and Deepti also mentioned about it. But when job expectations are very unclear or they're over demanding, it's too much challenging for you. That could be happening. One thing. One thing also comes is doing work which is monotonous or unchallenging. So doing that same 9 to 5 job, documentation, back-end job, जो हम कहते हैं. अब सेम काम ही कर रहे हो अगर 9 से 5 तो ऑब्वियसली थोड़े दिनों बाद वो आपको ऐसे लगेगा कि यार ऑन नहीं हो पा रहा है ऐसे करके. So that could be one scenario. Then working in an unorganized or high pressure environment. So when you have actually working in an organization which is a lot of high pressure, they go with changes like very suddenly. Like for example, let's say that if we are working together and we are one organization, we are approximately 9 people. Basically we are 10 people, but right now we are 9 active. So let's say imagine that I promote Deepti to that she'll be the next manager, and after a long some point of time when I feel that okay Deepti is having challenges or I feel ki okay Deepti ki thodi si kuch bhi aise issues aa gaye by the subordinates, rather than helping her to grow, I actually make her do something. Like I actually make her go back to what she was doing before, not taking up her position but taking up her workload, but she might be actually loving without getting her own recognition, making her do that. So kya hoga, she will get into burnout because she'll feel unappreciated, she'll feel hopeless and helpless कि मैं कैसे, मुझे क्यों ये काम मुझसे लिया गया, जबकि मैं तो एंजॉय करती, मेरा तो अपग्रेड हो रहा था स्किल्स. अगर आपको दिक्कत थी तो आप मुझे सिखाते कि कहाँ मैं गलत जा रही हूँ, कहाँ मैं सही जा रही हूँ, जिससे मैं चीजें सही कर पाती. बट आपने तो सिर्फ ये बोले कि अच्छा ये अब तुम वापस ये काम करो, तुम ठीक है तुम मैनेजर ही हो बट तुम ये काम करो, ये काम हम कर लेंगे. तो आपने उसका रीजन क्यों स्पेसिफाई नहीं किया और बहुत ही अनऑर्गेनाइज्ड एनवायरनमेंट हो गया आपका, तो इसलिए you can she can get into burnout. These are the few things which comes into unorganized or high pressure environment when you do not have the divisions at how things should work and how things should follow. A lot of changes are happening every now and then depending on the emotions and thoughts of people. जो कहते हैं जब आपके सीनियर्स कान के कच्चे होते हैं. Have you observed कान के कच्चे सीनियर्स in your work कभी आसपास है ना? बहुत इरिटेट करते हैं वो. ऐसा लगता है उन्हें सच में खून करो, पहले मर्डर उनका होना चाहिए. मेरा बस चलता है मैं उनका मर्डर कर चुकी होती अब तक. मन में तो मैंने बहुत बार किया है ना. सुन कह रही आई कैन फील यू मैम. यहाँ तो मैं आपको एकदम से फील कर सकती हूँ. Yes. Okay, let's go to lifestyle causes. What could be the lifestyle causes of burnout? One is my perfect example. Can anyone say that?
I mean, too many tasks to manage, or when you're juggling a lot at the same time.
Yes, that is one thing. Good one.
Too much of partying, like having a very active social life along with your work life, and so therefore a lot of pressure on time.
Yeah, what's the time right now? I still have 1 hour. I can complete my topic by then. आराम से, कोई दिक्कत नहीं. Thank you, Jyoti. Anyone else? Lifestyle causes of burnout?
Again, when you don't have like a fixed routine or a timetable and you just sleep whenever you feel like, you get up whenever you feel like, you're not able to manage your time or the schedule.
That is one scenario. Certainly. Any other thing? Anyone else who wishes to add anything?
And again, as you talked about
support at home.
Yeah, relationships.
Support system does have a place. Yes,
Yeah.
good. So we have again.
And also relationships.
Yeah, comes home
Conflicts.
and conflicts. Yeah, when you do not have when you're not able to work on conflicts and connections in relationships.
That's a big one, actually. Burnout.
Yeah. Yes, Disha.
Death of a close relative or a family member.
That can cause into burnout. Yes, that was my reason when I flirted with burnout because of the people not going with the grief. My reason was not going with the grief and the loss of close one. Okay, good one. Deepti is at 7, Jyoti is at 7, Disha is at 1. Deepti and Jyoti are having a close war. Let's see what have I written.
Oops. That was not, we are not at war, please, Anukriti.
I answered one before.
There's no count, we're not
So
trying to.
please count that as well.
Okay, 2. Disha is at 2. See, Disha is like, I want to get a chocolate. So Deepti and Jyoti,
I'm very competitive.
good one, Disha.
Sometimes.
Yes. Okay, let's coming back to lifestyle causes. Working too much without enough time for relaxation and socializing goes back as Jyoti also covered. Okay, when you are having this active lifestyle of working and socializing and not giving yourself that me time, that will also come in lifestyle causes. Again, being expected to be too many things to too many people, having that active lifestyle, that will. Taking on too many responsibilities without enough help from people. When you say yes to everyone, you have to say no to yourself, no other choices. Then comes where I said I'm a good example was caffeine. Okay, not getting enough sleep, not having a good, having kind of addictions or anything. So as he said that when you do not have a routine lifestyle, when you do not have a routine of when to sleep, how to sleep, or when to sleep, when to wake up, what to do at what point of time, exercise, food routine, everything comes here. And as Jyoti and Deepti and Disha also mentioned, about the loss and everything that also happens when you haven't gone through your emotions, and lack of close supportive systems that will also come into action. Going back, the last one, personality traits which contribute to burnout. Batao.
Overly sensitive person, gets affected by everybody's words and comments.
Yes, that has an influence.
A person who's prone or have a genetic disposition to psychological disorders can often experience burnout through little activities.
True indeed. Certainly works. Yes.
Neglected people.
I think personality types has already been discussed. Like in case you're submissive, you're not very assertive.
Type A personality trait can also be a reason for burnout because they are already, putting up excessive energy to all the tasks they do.
Yes. Type A would
more prone to stress.
Yes.
They are more prone to stress.
They are actually more prone to stress. So that's why they are more prone to flirting with burnout. Good one, Disha. You came to 5. Jyoti is at 8, Deepti is at 8, Samshun is at 1. Samshun, 1. Last one बोला आपने. मुझे आपसे और expectations थे. Okay, perfectionist tendency, nothing is ever good enough, majorly high achieving type A personality. When you have a pessimistic view of yourself in the world, when a glass is always half empty kind of a scenario, that could be one thing. And then comes into need to be in control. So if you remember the autocratic model, okay, the people who have I want to be in control, I want to have that whole place. You do not have that willingness to delegate to others, or you do not have this faith, or it doesn't come from you within that कोई और आपसे अच्छा कर सकता है, कोई और वो काम कर पाएगा जैसे आप करते हो. You do not have that thing. So that comes into burnout too. These are the few other than what we mentioned. I think you all mentioned everything other than pessimistic view or neglected was mentioned. So that comes into action too. That covers all 3 types of causes. Okay, now we'll go to warning signs and symptoms. Before we go to warning signs and symptoms, I really want to share this, that burnout doesn't happen overnight. Okay, it is like a slow poison. जैसे हम ये कहते हैं कि any kind of addiction is a slow poison. Same way, burnout in emotional and psychological term is a slow poison. You will not realize until it hits you and it takes you the start showing up lot of signs and symptoms. जब बहुत छोटे-छोटे signs and symptoms हो रहे थे आपको नहीं समझ आता until you know about burnout already. Okay, so it doesn't happen overnight, but it gets worse and worse as goes on, and it actually can change into a depression. कोई तो बर्तन गिरा मेरे घर में. Okay. It can actually change into depression and suicidal ideation. Okay. Both of them. It does have shown a lot of experience when it comes to depression and suicidal ideation. So when you see employees and corporate professionals, you can actually connect, okay, any of the stories that they were facing burnout, they did not went to actually checking on that. It changed into depression and it changed into suicidal ideation. So the ideation is usually when you actually feel that I really want to go for situations like killing myself or do not get into completely that I do not have any reason to give anymore. Yes, Deepti, you have a question?
Yeah, like where do you draw the line between burnout and depression? Like I see a lot of symptoms here which are related to depression as well.
Yes, many symptoms which are connected with burnout and depression together. Majorly, burnout and depression do not have very it has a very blurred line, okay, but depression has much more symptoms comparative to burnout. So how can you draw a line is when you feel that it hasn't gone worse. Like for example, when I was suffering, like when I was flirting with burnout, I went through psychometrics of DAS. So DAS is this is a psychometric tool on anxiety, like stress, anxiety, and depression. Okay, so I came into the low chronic, but I knew that there is something which is affecting me, which is not letting me go. So I was not depressed, so it has a low chronic city, but I was flirting with burnout. What you have to do is you do not have to check the bloodline, rather than you need to work on the similar symptoms the way the depression happens as a psychologist. क्योंकि इतनी पतली लाइन है वहां पे, इतनी हल्की लाइन है कि आप मेकआउट नहीं कर पाओगे. But when you know that person is actually flirting with burnout, go with working with depression too, because it could be a hidden layers of depression which hasn't been shown up. And if you know that there is a depression which connects to workload or something which connects to any kind of burnout situation, so make sure that you work around both of them. I think that answers your question. Talking about bloodline, there is nothing as such bloodline. तो ये बहुत ही हल्की है. Majorly आधे से like at least 80% of people who face burnout, until they get to know, they're already into depression. No matter it is a low chronicity, but yes, low intensity. They might not be at high intensity one. They might be at a very first levels of depression की बस आपको feeling sad हो रहा है, helpless feel हो रहा है, hopeless feel हो रहा है, you have started isolating yourself from people. That is one of the signs and symptoms of depression also, but it comes into burnout too. So start working on both scenarios together. बस medicines वाला case नहीं आता when it comes to burnout. It goes into depression only when you go with any medicines thing, like the psychiatrist thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Psychotherapy is the one which works in burnout. You do not have to go for psychiatrist. Fine. Okay. Let's go ahead again. Back to chocolate. We have 8, 8, 3, 1.
It was 5, 5, 1.
That's why I wanted to check. 8, 8, 5, 1. Okay. Disha beta, kahan rehti ho tum?
I'm living in Chandigarh, but I'm from Rajasthan.
चंडीगढ़ से दिल्ली तो आया जा सकता है. कंफर्म कर रही थी मैं कि तुम आने के तुम्हारे कितने चांसेस हैं, है ना? दिशा कह रही मैं आ रही हूँ, मैं चॉकलेट लेने पक्का आऊंगी.
हाँ बिल्कुल.
मुन्ना बोला मुझे हार्ड कॉपी घर पे चाहिए ही नहीं, मैं हार्ड कॉपी ऑफिस से लूंगी. शिवम सर मैं आप ही से लूंगी मैं हार्ड कॉपी. ठीक है. Okay, let's go ahead with the signs and symptoms. What do you think? What are the physical?
So can I start for the physical? Sorry.
Please, sure.
So the excessive hair loss can be one when there's prolonged stress and disturbed hormones and disturbed menstrual cycle in women.
Yes.
Acne.
Yes.
That's all.
Thank you, Disha. 9 done. Yes, Deepti.
I think you feel tired and you always are like you have this lack of energy. You're not energetic anymore. That is generally the physical symptom that you get.
That
Yeah, restlessness.
Yes.
Nauseous.
Excessive eating sometimes.
Yes. हमें नंबर भूलना शुरू कर.
I'm sorry to say,
Put on
but
weight.
excessive eating can be behavioral symptom.
Symptom.
Yeah, I mean, physical and behavioral.
Both. Yes.
Both actually.
Yeah, thank you. I think someone has raised hand, but her name shows as iPhone, and I'm sorry, I'm not able to see you. Sorry.
I am so sorry. I was unable to change it actually.
Yes, please.
I think there is actually a network issue from my side, so maybe that's why my voice is cutting down again and again. So just saying that sweating
Yeah.
is at work and getting easily, panicky at home is a major burnout sign at the time of work.
Yes, but panic situation can come more of an emotional as well, because that would come into action. Feeling, having that anxious situation, panicking situation. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
Samshun, you wanted to add something? I'm so sorry. Missed on your.
And sickness also. Like people. Sorry. Is someone speaking?
Yes, Samshun wanted to speak. Yes, Samshun.
Sorry.
It's okay. Samshun, बोलो. अब आपकी बात सुनेंगे पक्का. I'm so sorry. Samshun is like, नहीं मुझे नहीं चाहिए चॉकलेट, मुझे बात ही नहीं करनी. आप chat box पे डालो. Best. Okay. Okay. Yes, Disha, I got you. The feeling that homesickness, that could be one of the emotional too, but yes, a physical sign.
Not homesickness, but actual sickness, like blood pressure.
Yeah. Blood pressure, cold flu. Cold flu is very common. Yes. Let's see what I've added in. 12, 11, 11. Deepti, Jyoti, and Disha is at 12. Disha is taken up. Disha is the first position. We still have, emotional signs, but talking about feeling tired and drained, lowered immunity, feeling sick a lot, frequent headache, back pain, muscle ache, change in appetite, sleep habits, all other physical signs. Let's come to emotional signs and symptoms. अगर आप लोगों ने cheating नहीं की है तो please आप बोल सकते हैं.
Feeling of anxiousness always.
Yeah.
Overexertion.
Mm-hmm.
Dreadfulness.
Yes, that would come. Good one. Yes, Deepti.
No, I'm saying now that she's giving all synonyms to get more points.
Yeah. Fear and anxiety.
Dreadfulness is different from anxiety. So it won't be synonyms.
No, I'm
but
just kidding.
quite
She's
similar
giving all
actually. Yes.
We're all having fun now.
Deepti was pulling your leg.
Trying to grab as many chocolates. मिलना कुछ भी नहीं है. Everything is just enjoying.
ऐसा नहीं. दिशा, आप दिल्ली आना. आप मुझे बताना. आप बोलना वाइबो मैम को कि मैं दिल्ली आई हूँ. अनुरुति मैम से मुझे मिलना है. प्लीज काउंसिल इंडिया उन्हें बुलाइए. मैं ऑफिस आऊंगी आपके लिए पक्का.
तो जो दिल्ली वाले उनको तो दे दो आज या कल. हम तो यही है.
ऑफिस आओ, मैं ऑफिस आके मिल लूंगा. मुझे कोई
ऑफिस आना पड़ेगा. वर्चुअल सेशन है. I should get my delivery tomorrow.
मुझे दिक्कत ये है ना, काउंसिल इंडिया के ऐसे रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस उन्हें बहुत स्ट्रिक्ट बनाए. उन्हें पता चला अनुकृति मैम बाहर बात कर रही है, ऐसे मेरा खून करते हैं. 9th फ्लोर में इनका ऑफिस है. मुझे ऐसे 9th फ्लोर बुला के धक्का दिया जाएगा वहां से. वैसे ही मैं उनसे लड़ती रहती हूँ जब देखो तब.
Okay, carry on.
Okay, great. So talking about emotional science, yes, Disha, that has a connect. Anyone else who wishes to add something more to that, please?
I don't know the proper name for it, but the feeling when you feel everything is out of control, like you're no longer in charge.
Mm-hmm.
Helplessness, hopelessness.
Hopelessness.
Yeah.
And
Thank
you,
yeah.
I mean, maybe you don't want to get involved anywhere. You become like you just want to stay with you aloof. You start remaining aloof, right?
Yes, you start isolating yourself. You remain aloof.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, certainly. Let's see what have I written. I stopped counting because I know Disha is winning the game. Okay. Sense of failure and self-doubt, because you get into that whole spaces that, okay, you know, there's nothing wrong, I'm feeling I'm losing everything, I do not do anything good, and you get into self-doubt. You feel helpless, trapped and defeated, you have a detachment, you also start feeling alone in the world, that no one understands me, no one cares, no one loves me, kind of a situation. Loss of motivation to do anything and everything. It's not just about the work. You lose interest in anything and everything around. जो चीज शायद आपको कभी बहुत खुशी देती थी, आज वो चीज भी आपको करने में मजा बिल्कुल नहीं आएगा. That will come to a situation too. Okay. Increasingly cynical, pessimistic, and negative outlook. You will have a decreased satisfaction and, you know, sense of accomplishment. So, like for example, if someone says that, okay, you know, this is the thing which you have done good, this is the thing which you have done great, you will not be able to connect to it. You will not have any connect to that space. So that's how it works. Okay, when we talk about emotional. Last one but not the least, behavioral signs and symptoms of burnout.
Irritation.
Lot, yes, good one.
Excess emotional crying or ranting.
Yes, again, certainly good one, Dasha.
Not participating in, you know, like withdrawal. So
Withdrawal situations would come, yes. Anyone else?
taking drugs.
Yes. Anyone else who wishes to add anything before I take you to see what I've written? Let's see.
I'm taking drugs or alcohol.
Yes, that's what I said. Substance abuse is one of the things. मैंने आपकी आवाज सुन ली थी actually. Because I said, yes, that is one thing. Substance abuse is one thing. Taking drugs, alcohol, smoking, caffeine. That is one of the behavioral signs and symptoms.
Self-harm.
Yeah, self-harm is also one of the things which comes into burnout too, that you're not able to control. So you're like trying to get anger out of you. You might get into that. Not like, and it can be one of the places where it can actually have a connect with, you know, depression too, as per the self-harm. Yes.
And the feeling when
I'm sorry,
you
what was the
just
last
fidget.
one? What did she say? I'm sorry. I couldn't get the last one.
Self-harm.
What?
Feelings of self-harm.
Okay.
And fidgeting. Excess fidgeting.
Fidgeting. Yes, that is one of the good things. Yes. That is happening. Let's see what have I written. Withdrawing from responsibilities, taking longer to get things done, isolating yourself from others, using food, drugs, or alcohol. Talking about taking longer to get things done, this is what I've observed with my clients. Okay, a basic exercise which happens when you actually start, you know, when you're eating, like a very basic lifestyle mein kya hota hai ki when you're freshening up in the morning, or when you're actually eating, you know, food eating, agar pehle आधा घंटा लेते थे खाना खाने में, you've started taking like 45 minutes to 1 hour just to finish a basic portion of food. Or when you're actually freshening up, if you were, you know, if your morning routine used to take 30 minutes, now you're taking 2 hours in your washroom. That could be a very basic scenario of flirting with burnout, like very basic sign, scenario and symptom. Okay, that little observation can work. Or या आपको cold and flu बहुत जल्दी हो जा रहा है, खांसी जुकाम, fever चढ़ ही रहा है. So that could be one of the things where you can say that yes, you can be flirting with burnout. Taking out your frustration on the displacement is one of the things जो हम बहुत normally करते हैं, जो हम सोचते भी नहीं है. अच्छा, जैसे for example, if I was flirting with burnout, मुझे हर चीज पे irritation आती थी, and I would get angry on Angel or on उस टाइम तो रिलेशनशिप में विंडी सिंगल थी, तो यू नो वो एंजल पे गुस्सा होता था, या कोई स्टूडेंट होता था कि उन पे चिल्ला रही होती थी यार बात नहीं करनी, सब फोन ऑफ करके रख देना. सो बिकॉज आई डू नॉट लाइक गेटिंग एंग्री, आई हैव अ वेरी हाई टेंडेंसी, बिकॉज आई नो दैट आई एम एन इमोशनल पर्सन. व्हाट हैपेंस इज कि अगर मैंने किसी पे चिल्ला दिया है तो उसके मैं बैठ के रोऊंगी कि मैंने उस पर क्यों चिल्लाया है, किसी से चिल्लाना ही क्यों है, ये बाद में बैठ के रोना ही है, तो मतलब डबल इमोशंस क्यों दिखाऊं मैं नेगेटिव. तो मैं व्हाट आई डू इज कि अगर मुझे कभी किसी भी गुस्सा आ रहा होता है, आई ऑटोमेटिकली डिस्कनेक्ट, कि जब तक मैं शांत ना हो जाऊं कि मुझे गुस्सा किस बात पे आ रहा है, मुझे क्या चीज बुरी लगी है, तब तक मैं एकदम अपने आप को डिस्कनेक्ट कर देती हूँ. सो दैट्स व्हाट आई हैव बीन वर्किंग. It has been going good till now, but it's not always healthy. Sometimes it is not healthy. Sometimes you should vent out too. Then I go for dance. So I'll play Alexa. And I'll be like, okay, let's Alexa, and I enjoy them. She play random songs जो मैंने कभी नहीं सुने होंगे. She's one of the nuisance person in my life. Skipping work, coming in late, leaving early, everything comes into action as visible signs and symptoms. Okay, we covered with signs and symptoms of burnout, all the three.
Okay, I just want like, there was this one word you had used. I don't know. I mean, there's no connection. I don't know, but it just came to my mind. Like when in a team, there is one person who's kind of doing all the work, and the others are shirking responsibility or loading that one person with all the work. What is it called?
Social loafing.
Social loafing, right? Social loafing. Okay, thank you.
So, ma'am, according to the situation you told, feeling of guilt can also be a factor for burnout or a symptom of burnout.
Yes, it can be.
Excessive guilt.
If it is getting into a lot to you for everything, you're taking guilt on yourself. जैसे for example, अगर मैं हर चीज को अपने ऊपर ले रही हूँ, भाई अगर मेरे जैसे let's say this, things I'm flirting with burnout. ठीक है, I'm already flirting with burnout, and well, this happened with me. So I'll tell you my example. So I told you that I was flirting with burnout. Okay, at that point of time, I and the relationship I had. So it is not the current one. It is the ex person. So I and him was going through a breakup, complete breakup at that point of time. And I also had lost people. Approximately it was 4 months back when I lost them because of COVID. But being the eldest child and being the closest to them. So if you have noticed, I have green eyes. Okay. And my maternal uncle only had green eyes. I lost him in October 2020 due to COVID. I lost my maternal father, my maternal uncle, and my paternal father, all three people within a span of 20 days because of COVID. Like, वो जबकि अलग-अलग जगह में थे, one in UP, other one in Chhattisgarh, but maybe that's where I had to go through, during that time. I lost all three of them together. And I was closest to my maternal uncle. Like, I'd say that I was closest to him more than my parents. So losing him was a one big thing. And the guy I was dating did not had any idea how to work around when when your partner or when someone close to you has lost someone else. कि उसे कैसे संभालना होता है, कैसे emotional support देना होता है. So he would say that, you're making up too much. अब जो हो चुका है वो तो हो चुका है, accept करो और आगे बढ़ो. I couldn't do it. So I started to remain silent. Okay. And one person कि अगर मुझे ऐसे बोला जाए तो मैं एकदम से कट जाती हूँ. Then he lost his job and we were also into the breakup thing. So I took everything on myself. कि यार मतलब उसके लाइफ में जो दिक्कत हो रही है वो भी मेरी वजह से हो रही है. मेरे पेरेंट्स को मैं नहीं संभाल पा रही हूँ वो भी मेरी वजह से हो रहा है. अगर मेरी कोई स्टूडेंट कह देता था कि हमें नहीं समझ आ रहा कि मैम क्या कर रही है तो मुझे ऐसा था कि यार मेरी ही सारी गलती है. The guilt when you're taking up everything on yourself is one place where it feels like, okay, because COVID मेरी वजह से नहीं होता. I was like, April we went through COVID. Like I flirted with burnout around March 2021, last year. Okay. 2021, then Delhi second wave was there. I was a COVID positive as well. And all 4 people were COVID positive in my family. Like my younger brother, me, my parents, all 4 were. And 4 months pehle we lost people. 4-6 months pehle. So it was all into a panic state. And I was like, okay, is it me? Because I was the one who was going to Amity at that point of time, was taking offline sessions as well. I was like, I am the one who would be the reason if my family get killed. Went through therapy, got okay. But guilt is one of the things which does have a very high influence when it comes in signs and symptoms of burnout. I think that explains. I hope it was not heavy. Sorry.
No, ma'am. It explains it. Thank you.
Thank you. Great. Let's go ahead. Dealing with burnout, the 3R approach. Recognize. Okay, what we'll do is, हमें ना 8 बज रहे हैं. अगर हमने टॉपिक जो आगे 3 स्लाइड है, मुझे पता है आगे सिर्फ 3 स्लाइड बचे हैं इस पूरे पीपीटी में. अगर हमने 3 स्लाइड 8 बजे तक खत्म कर दी, how many of you have paper and colors with you today?
Me.
I do.
3 people out of 9? Okay. So I'll share you. Then I'll take the session till 8:30. 8:30 तक मैं आराम से ले सकती हूँ, कोई दिक्कत नहीं. Anukriti, let's take a deep breath. Dealing with burnout, 3R approach. recognize, watch for the warning signs of the burnout. We did warning signs and symptoms of burnout, so watch it for it. When you know it कि अच्छा ये warning signs हैं, reverse, understand. Okay, जैसे जब हमें physical burn होता है तो हम वो जल जाता है तो हम उसे reverse करते हैं damage को. Same goes for burnout too. It is an internal damage. You have to reverse the damage. How you have to reverse damage is by managing your stress. कि अच्छा अब जब आपको ये warning signs and symptoms दिख रहे हैं, आप warning signs and symptoms पे नहीं fall कर रहे हो. You're not isolating yourself from everyone. You're actually approaching people for support. जब आपको गुस्सा आ रहा है तो आप गुस्सा उतारने की जगह आप ये सोचो कि मुझे गुस्सा क्यों आ रहा है. जब आपको गिल्ट आ रहा है तब उसके पीछे के साइंस देख रहे हो. You try to reflect on the things and try to work on it. When you're feeling that, okay, just let me sleep and just do not eat anything, you're trying to adopt a healthy routine. That is a reversing yourself. Okay, undo damage by managing stress, and if required, seek support from your close ones or professional too. Then build your resilience. How can you build your resilience? Is check on what are the things which connects to you personally. For example, how would you build your resilience? कि जब आप stressful होते हो तो walking helps. That will make you build your resilience. If you know that this kind of music help. For some people, romantic music help. For some people, there are music which makes you feel, life connected, which makes you feel कि yes, ये गाना तो बहुत ही अच्छा लगता है. सुन लो तो एकदम से uplift हो जाता है mood और energy मिल जाती है कि yeah, हमें challenge लेना है life में. That kind of things. There are people who feels good with art therapy, making mandala art or making, just painting it loud around. That helps them. So anything which works around you, make a connect with it. That okay, these are things which actually take care of my emotional health. These are the things which actually takes care of my physical health. Build your resilience. Resilience is majorly connecting with your self-awareness and understanding what helps you connecting with your well-being. Okay, that builds your hardness with perspective to your holistic well-being. What are the few things which you can work on? Burnout prevention tips. Start the day with a relaxing ritual. So for example, I'll tell you my thing, okay? I wake up at 6. मैं maximum 6:15 तक उठ जाती हूँ. चाहे मुझे कॉलेज 9 बजे पहुंचना. And I do not move out of my home before 8:30. So I have a very strict habit कि मैं उठूंगी, मैं पानी गर्म करूंगी, मैं कॉफी लेके आऊंगी. मेरे घर वालों को पता है कि जब मैं कॉफी पी रही हूँ मुझे किसी से बात करना पसंद नहीं है. So only person who is allowed when I am with my coffee is Angel, क्योंकि हम उन्हें नहीं रोक पाते. But other than that, there is no one who can talk to me at that point of time. Why? Because I have made a very strict time that time is my me time when I start with my day. Because अगर मेरा वो दिन खराब हो गया, वो अगर पहले 15-20 मिनट मुझे किसी ने मुझे उठा दिया गया कि ये कर दे या वो कर दे, या मैंने वो टाइम अपने नहीं निकाला before I start my day, my whole day goes as a mess because I'll just go with the flow there. And it doesn't help me. Okay, then it doesn't make me feel like, okay, that yes, things have happened. After I've flirted with burnout, that is the one challenge which I have right now. कि अगर मेरे दिन का ये relaxing ritual नहीं हुआ, that means my whole day is messed up. And I might be a little cranky. That does happen. So I have to work with 15 to 30 minutes with myself. That's one thing which you should have it with yourself too. Do what you like. Meditate, write in your journal, walk, read something. Completely your choice. But make sure that you're spending that time with yourself rather than rushing with the routine, whatever you have. Because अब सबकी routine शुरू ही हो गई है, right? Then the second is adopt healthy eating, exercising, and sleeping habits. When you eat right, when you engage in regular physical activity and get plenty of rest, you will have the energy and resilience to deal with life's hassles and demand. So make sure you adopt healthy eating, exercising, and sleeping habits. आराम से अच्छा खाना खाइए. रोज regular activity करिए. Do not have to exercise and go to gym. If you're doing walk as well and doing basic stretches also, that also helps. Okay, yoga helps. Yes, and make sure you're giving yourself rest. Do not stress yourself with things. Give yourself some time. Then set boundaries. Don't overextend yourself. Learn how to say no to requests on your time if you find it difficult. Because remind, अगर आप हर किसी को हाँ बोलोगे तो अपने आप को तो ना बोल ही रहे हो. मेरे पास 24 घंटे हैं, मैं 24 घंटे में सबको हाँ बोल दूंगी तो मेरे लिए अपने लिए वक्त छूटेगा नहीं. और जब मेरे लिए अपने पास वक्त नहीं है तो how would I work around with more things? I need time with myself to actually relax and work around. That's how we get into burnout. No matter it is family only also. अगर आपकी personal life में भी आप boundaries set नहीं कर रहे हो, things will get into a difficult space. So make sure you set boundaries. That's the exercise we'll be doing today. That's why I asked you the paper and everything. Okay, we'll be working on boundaries and priorities today. It's a very interesting work, I believe so. So yeah, then take a daily break from technology. I'm sure everyone would be doing it क्योंकि इतना डिजिटल हो चुका है हमारे पास जिंदगी की और कुछ रह नहीं गया है. So set a time each day. I'm not saying कि रात को फोन अपने पास ना रखो, ये मत करो क्योंकि सब रखते हैं, you cannot work it out. But set a time each day when you can completely disconnect, put away your laptop, turn off your phone, and stop checking emails, stop checking WhatsApp, no Instagram reels, nothing, nothing. Okay, work around it, and that helps. Nourish your creative side. Creativity is one powerful antidote to burnout, but when I talk about creativity, do not connect anything related to work or side hustle to anything which makes you feel, connect to your inner child. Okay, start something new, learn a new project, कुछ नया सीख लो, या जो आपकी फेवरेट हॉबी है उसे रिज्यूम कर लो. चांसेस ये हो सकते हैं शायद अगर आप फ्लर्ट कर रहे हो बर्नआउट से, जैसे मेरे साथ जब ये हुआ था तब ये हुआ था कि मैं जो चीज करना पसंद करती थी मैं उससे कनेक्ट नहीं कर पाई थी, मुझसे वो हो ही नहीं पा रहा था. तो यू कैन स्टार्ट समथिंग and doing something else rather than connecting with what you like to do. It can happen. So what you can do is you can try to learn something new, but choose activities which doesn't have nothing to do with your own work. Like, major people right now, what we have is that we would have our own work, but we will have a side hustle too, which connects to our hobbies. So that's where I'm saying that you should not connect with your side hustle or, kind of those things. Then learn how to manage stress. When you are doing all these things, what we just studied in the back session, you would have your own way of managing stress. Every individual is unique and everyone has their own way of managing stress. Let's take this emotions. I'll be sharing you a PDF of working on your emotional first aid kit, which will actually has pointer things at how to work around it, on how to manage stress. But as a basic idea, what negative emotions we have anger, we have guilt, we have sadness, we have jealousy. Basically 4 or 5, okay? Now, basic emotions of sadness or negative emotions. Now, when you get angry, what you do, you really want to shout at someone or hurt someone. How would you calm down yourself at that point of time rather than thinking, why are you getting angry on them? And avoid that. Take a deep breath, calm down yourself, dance, walk, try to do something which is productive. That's how you can manage that emotion. You will learn how to manage stress around it when you get angry. When you talk about sadness, what is making you sad? What you do in sadness, you isolate yourself. जब भी हमें दुखी होता है तो हम यही करते हैं ना, हमें रोना आता है और हम चाहते हैं हमें कोई नहीं चाहिए आसपास. Connect with people कि मुझे इस बात पे बुरा लग रहा है. Let me work it out. Help vent those negative emotions out. कि हाँ, ये चीजें affect कर रही हैं. What do you think about it? You might get perspective. Talk to your close people. Get support from people. When you are feeling envy, क्या होगा? आपको किसी चीज को लग रहा होगा यार उसके पास है, मेरे पास क्यों नहीं है? मुझे भी वो चाहिए. मेरे साथ ही क्यों हो रहा है ऐसा? सबको तो ये चीज है, मुझे क्यों satisfaction नहीं है? Gratitude. क्यों आपको ऐसा फील हो रहा है? क्या चीज है वहां जो आपको वो अच्छी लग रही है? We'll work around it. मैं ये नहीं कह रही envy होना खराब है. Obviously, it can actually act as a motivation for you to actually go ahead and do that work. Give you that push. आपको बस डायरेक्शन चेंज करना है. अच्छा, आपको उस चीज के लिए एनवी जेलेसी हो रही है, rather than taking that negative emotion inside you and connecting with you, try to understand why it is making you envy and jealousy about. What is it making you? अगर मुझे जेलेसी फील हो रही है यार किसी के पास BMW या ऑडी है, मेरे पास क्यों नहीं है? मैं ऑल्टो से क्यों जा रही हूँ? I'll work hard so that I can get that car. I can motivate myself and be grateful that at least I have ऑल्टो. कितने लोग हैं जिनके पास ऑल्टो भी नहीं होगी, जो साइकिल से जाते हैं? At least I have Alto 800. I can drive. I can be safe. I can actually have that running car. It helps me everywhere. बेचारी छोटी सी प्यारी सी है, कहीं से भी निकल जाती है. बेचारी मर्सिडीज फंस जाती है, निकल भी नहीं पाती. वो बेचारे डरते ही रहते हैं कहीं ठुक गई तो कितने पैसे खर्च होंगे. तो I am blessed. Okay, getting gratitude. Any other? Guilt. Guilt brings you that it make you actually withdraw and everything. If it is not sinful, connect with your work. कि आप किस चीज के लिए गिल्ट हो रहा है? अगर वो चीज सिंफुल है ही नहीं है और वो किसी को हर्ट कर ही नहीं रही है, तो वापस कनेक्ट करो उसे काम पे. जरूरी नहीं है जो दुनिया को, अगर आपको पता है कि आप जो कर रहे हो उससे किसी को हर्ट नहीं हो रहा और वो ऐसा कुछ गलत काम नहीं है जिससे कि आपको सिंफुल होना चाहिए, तो आप क्यों इस चीज का अपने ऊपर भार ले रहे? जाओ वापस कनेक्ट करो. आप पूरी दुनिया को खुश नहीं रख सकते. एक्चुअली आप पूरी दुनिया को खुश नहीं रख सकते, तो कृपया कोशिश भी ना करें. Okay. Now comes to coping with job burnout. This is the individual one, okay, which you can do with yourself. But burnout connects with job no matter what. Deal with job stress. Start by identifying what factors are stressful. Because then you can take, how you want to deal with the problem. Either you want to change your work environment, अपना team change कर लिया, काम change कर लिया, or you want to change the way you deal with the stressor. So things would, you can then take perspectives. But पहले तो आपको ये जानना होगा आपको चीज परेशान क्या कर रही है अपने वर्क में. आपका सुपरवाइजर परेशान कर रहा है, आपको अनऑर्गेनाइज्ड वर्क परेशान कर रहा है, आपको मोनोटोनस है ये परेशान कर रहा है, क्या परेशान कर रहा है, पहले तो ये जान. Then actively address problems. चुप रहने से तो किसी चीज का हल नहीं है. Take a proactive approach rather than passive one. That okay, these are the issues which I have. When you take a proactive approach, it will help you around, because one thing, assertiveness already gives you a lot of energy within, a strong positive energy within. As soon as you start, being assertive, आपकी बात सुनी जाए या ना सुनी जाए वो फर्क नहीं पड़ता. अगर आप assertive होना शुरू करोगे आपको लगेगा एटलीस्ट मैंने बोला तो, उन्होंने नहीं किया वो अलग चीज है, मैं कुछ और ऑप्शन देखती हूँ, मैं देखता हूँ. बट वंस आई हैव एक्सप्रेस्ड इट, इट गिव्स अस लॉट ऑफ कॉन्फिडेंस विद इन आवरसेल्फ. आप चेक करोगे जब आप पैसिव रहते हो तो आपको लगता है ये चीज सही की या नहीं सही की. बट एज सून एज यू चेंज इनटू असर्टिवनेस, it regains your self morale, it builds on your self esteem, so that connects. Okay, then clarify your job description. Ask your boss for an updated description. What are my duties and responsibilities? You can check करो अगर मेरी ड्यूटीज एंड रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी जो मुझे बोली गई है उससे कहीं ज्यादा मैं काम संभाली तो मुझे अप्रिशिएशन मिलनी चाहिए. कई बार बॉस को पता ही नहीं होता, वो सोचते हैं अच्छा कर ही रहा यही होगा. आपको ना कभी कभी आईना दिखाना पड़ता है. प्यार से दिखाओ, गुस्सा होने की जरूरत नहीं है, प्यार से भी दिखाने का ऑप्शन है. क्लैरिफाई योर जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन, चेक विद देम. हमने किया था ना जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन, व्हाट आर जॉब एनालिसिस में मेरी टास्क ड्यूटीज एंड रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज क्या है, बस वो चेकआउट करो. अगर आप उनसे ज्यादा काम कर रहे हो तो you can actually get for a raise, and you can actually ask them, I'm already doing this much more work and it is actually adding up on my tool. Either update my skills or update my role, update my job role. I want to feel appreciated what I'm doing with. If there's a monotonous thing, ask for new duties. If you're doing same exact work for a time being, ask something new, something different, grade level, promotion. जैसे हमने temporary promotion की बात की थी, job rotation की बात की थी, आप वो करा सकते हो. या different territory, have a change of location. If you're talking about different machine, majorly if you want to work on, software developer और ये सब चीजें, और industry में जैसे होता है कि आप इस machine पे नहीं किसी और चीज पे काम करना चाहते, किसी और scenario of work में काम करना चाहते हो. Like if I'm working with sales, I want to have idea with marketing now. So that could be one of the scenarios. Okay. So like, for example, I'm an IO psychologist at Counsel India. So I asked for new duties and they were like same company, they employ counseling. I let her do, something related to taking counseling procedures and practice sessions where she can share her experience and she can make people talk, kind of a scenario. So that covers my topic. So that's how they worked out with me flirting with burnout. Okay. Then take time off. छुट्टी ले लो सबसे और आराम करो. और सबसे लेना प्लीज. हाँ, द फर्स्ट थिंग व्हिच आई वुड रियली वांट टू से इज कि ये मत करना कि भाई जॉब से छुट्टी ली और घर वालों का सेवा कर रहे हैं, उससे कोई फायदा नहीं है. कोई फायदा नहीं उसका. गो ऑन वेकेशन अकेले, गोवा घूम के आओ, कहीं घूम के आओ, बट अकेले, या उन लोगों के साथ जो आपको काम ना कराएं. मैं बताती हूँ. लास्ट सैटरडे संडे ना, घर वाले ना सुने, बस बहुत शांति से सुनाएंगे, ठीक है. लास्ट सैटरडे संडे मेरे घर वालों को जाना था ये सालासर वाला. कहते तुम भी चलो. मैंने कहा मैं नहीं जा रही. क्या करूंगी मैं जाके, क्यों चाहिए आपको मैं जाऊं. कहते देखो आधा रास्ते तुम गाड़ी चला पाओगी, हमें आसान हो जाएगा कि तुम सामान पकड़. मैंने कहा आपको मैं इसलिए जाना चाहती हूँ कि मैं बेटी हूँ आपकी, आप इसलिए जाना चाहते हो कि आपके साथ एक हलाल वो चलेगा बकरा, कि चलो हाँ ड्राइविंग करने के लिए, सामान उठाने के लिए हमारे पास एक है गधा. नहीं सॉरी, मैं तो गधी हुई. बट सो दिस इज माय रियल सिचुएशन. मैं नहीं गई, मैं घूमी उस दिन, ठीक है. एक दिन मैं घूमी, सैटरडे में कहीं घूमने नहीं गई. संडे में सुबह निकली 4 बजे, मैं शाम को वापस आ गई क्योंकि सेशन था मेरा आप लोग के साथ. मैं घूम के आई अकेले. जहाँ 4 घंटे की 5 घंटे की ड्राइव थी बस, बट मैं घर वालों के साथ नहीं गई. So understand that, okay? When you're taking time off, please take time off with yourself because you are the one who needs you the most. अगर आप अपना ख्याल नहीं रखोगे तो कोई और आपका ख्याल क्यों रखेगा? किसी और की जिम्मेदारी नहीं है आपका ख्याल रखना. आपका अपना ख्याल रखना बहुत जरूरी है. आप अपना ख्याल रखो, सब आपका ख्याल रखेंगे. जस्ट चेंज द नोशन. देखो, आप अपना ख्याल रखना शुरू करो, ठीक है? पूरी दुनिया ऐसे कहेगी मैं भी प्यार लुटाती हूँ, मैं भी प्यार लुटाती हूँ. जहां पे ऐसे कहोगे ना यार मुझे अपने ऊपर की प्यार नहीं आ रहा है, क्या आप मुझे प्यार थोड़ा सा दे दोगे? अरे यार इसी को खुद पे प्यार नहीं आ रहा, हम क्यों प्यार दें? That's how selfish the world is. And this is a harsh truth of life. It's not what I'm saying. You would have observed in your own life or people around you. So, and burnout is one of the things. Go on a vacation, use up your sick days, पूरी छुट्टी ले लो. Anything to remove yourself because recharging your batteries is very, very important. हम ना एक मशीन ही है और कई बार हम भी थक जाते हैं. ऐसे, let's say thank you. Good work, Anupiti.